everybody, and welcome to another Top 10 edition of Magic Mics, proudly sponsored by our Patreon supporters and our co-sponsor, Mana Traders, the best tool to enhance your Magic Online experience. Use the code MagicMics_VG8, that's MagicMics_Video Game 8, for 10% off your next subscription with Mana Traders. Tell them we sent you. I'm Evan Irwin. We get started each week by saying hello to our two co-hosts, Power Dragon.
Hey, this is going to be a good one, man. There's a bunch of sets now that we get to talk about, so it's going to be kind of exciting.
Ruben Bressler.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we've done a non-set specific top 10, and so this is going to be a fun little retrospective.
Ruben, you want to scooch to your right just a little bit, or move the camera over just a little bit?
Which way?
To your right. There you
That
go.
way?
That way. Perfect. All right. Well,
Should I do that again, or are we good?
No, we're good. Now, we also began with our choice of the top comment from our last top 10 in a segment we call Honorable Mention, where Ruben will tell us who was the most eloquent, letting us know what card we didn't choose as one of our top 10 Edge of Eternity's cards. Ruben?
Right. Well, it's been a minute since we've had an all-star from the comment section in our top 10 honorable mentions, but it's about time that Isaac Ben Ruby got back into the winner's circle here. Isaac writes, "My shellfish allergy has informed me that you guys missed the most important card in Magic the Gathering's history of the past 2 weeks. Ragost, Deft Gastronaut, is a lobster citizen. A lobster citizen! The dude that turns all your artifacts into food and allows you to effectively have a one-sided food fight definitely deserves a nod on the list. His food sacrifice ability is so good that it hits all opponents, so you don't have to worry about people who have hexproof in your restaurant. My only hope is that we get lobster food tokens because, as we all know, cannibalism is a great way to meet people."
To meet them, get it? Meet
Yeah.
people.
Meat. It's a pun.
Now, for those who don't know, Ragos Deft Gastronaut is a red and a white 2/2 rare legendary lobster citizen, as mentioned. Artifacts you control are foods in addition to your other types and have 2 generic mana. Tap, sacrifice this artifact, you gain 3 life. 1 generic tap, sacrifice a food. Ragos deals 3 damage to each opponent. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain life this turn, untap Ragost. So, Zoidberg.
Yeah.
This is our Zoidberg.
You're telling me a shrimp fried this rice?
Exactly.
Jokes all over the place.
as it should be, which I like. I love that joke as well. Well, we appreciate Isaac Ben Ruby being a part of the show. Stay tuned for our top 10 list this week and let us know what choice of your honorable mention is and may be for our next one. All right, so we got to pick between all the secret layers. There's a point at which this program has done the top 10 of a lot of things. We've done about every myriad you can imagine. This is our 245th top 10 episode. So, there is literally a point at this point we can go back and literally just run back all the top 10s. We have so many of them. But while we have done top 10 secret layer cards, we've never actually done top 10 secret layers because, and we mentioned this at one point, we talked about it. There just weren't enough at the time. There was like 30, maybe 40 or something. That's plenty, but it's not enough to make a top 10 list amongst 3 people and make it interesting and so on. So I think we now have enough, and I say all that to get us started here on number 10, which mine is higher on somebody else's list. And that's okay because it's rad. And it was originally going to be one of my very highest picks, so that's okay. But I did want to make sure it was on my list. So, Ruben, what is your number 10?
My number 10 brings me joy because secret layers afford us the opportunity to go even weirder and even wilder with most art. Occasionally we will get art in the main sets that are either controversial or different or too weird. I'm thinking in particular of that Faithless Looting that was in Strixhaven that caused consternation for about 2 weeks. And it's nice that Wizards is willing to take chances on cards. And I want them to take chances on artists and cards and weird stuff. And it's very rare that they not only take chances on artists, but on entire genres of art. And specifically sculpture. We don't have a bunch of cards that are sculptures or dioramas or photography in any real sense. Claws of Gix famously is one of the only examples of that from early Magic. But we got an entire secret layer called Diabolical Dioramas by an artist named Laura Plansker. And Laura is a dioramist, as well as a sculptor and a music video director and an artist of all different types, and a puppeteer, and created these delightful little scenes for some terrifying cards. Gravebreaker Lamia, Aura Shards, a Fiend Artisan, and Karadar, Ghost Chieftain. In particular, this three-eyed cat that's jumping at you on this Aura Shards just makes me so happy. And that they named it in Fluffin in the flavor text.
Yeah, this was such a weird one when I saw it because it was just like almost a surreal style, like, you know, when you're comparing it to any other type of art you've seen, I'm like, what am I even looking at right now? Yeah. So pretty cool though that they at least took a chance on it, right? Like try something different because there is a world where you don't know what people will accept. So this is like a soft way to launch it and say, hey, if you just need some of these cards, you might buy it anyway, but we can at least gauge what the feedback is. So it's cool to attempt it, even if you don't ever do it again.
Yeah, these are some really rad cards, some really good cards. Aura Shards like $30, particularly that version of it is like $30, which is cool. And I'll take anything that pushes the boundaries of Magic art, honestly. I mean, whenever it creates that kind of buzz around, like, have you seen what this weird card looks like? I think that's great. Also, it's just like we're now in that modern Magic era of it's not too weird. Like it's honestly, I'm not sure if you can get too weird on a Magic card anymore. We've tried a lot so far, like a lot. And we'll probably get to a whole bunch of those as we keep going here. Power Dragon, what's your number 10?
My number 10 is I'm cheating a little bit here on my 10 one because it's kind of two sets. But this was one where I think it came down to, hey, let's make some things that everybody plays with some fresh art. And I bet these are going to sell. And I remember having a discussion with people about this is where we kind of turn the point of like, these are going to be long-term value. And that was Dan Frazier is back with these signets. I think people underestimated this by tons when it first came out. And we've just seen the value of these like slowly creep up little by little. And now you start seeing them on tables and people are like, where'd you get that? And it's like, well, you can't get them anymore. So like, yeah, this is a cool one to have. And I thought it was neat that they used a Magic artist that has been part of the game since, you know, the beginning, you know, he used to make appearances back at like the Junior Super Series events to sign stuff or whatever. You know, that's how long he's been around. Oh, yeah. So really cool to just see these as a piece. And I would have liked them to have been one big set, but it was cool that we got them all anyway.
Yeah, it's fun. You can look at like the value of this, like 40 cents, $16 for it's a signet that he did, right? So like that's cool and rad.
I mean, the Rakdos signet I think is the most expensive one because it looks like a demon.
Oh, is it? Let's take a look here.
It looks like
$20.
a crazy $20. Looks like a crazy demon face.
Woo!
Yeah,
80 cents or $20. Choose your Rakdos signet.
There you go.
Whichever one you would like. Look, man, investing in old school artists is always fantastic. The old school artist who was there, like when it was just small events, when it was tiny events, when it was 300 or 400 people was a big deal. 800 people was, oh my God, what happened? You know, like these artists have been around for a long time, and now being able to kind of come back around and give them these kind of special, you know, one-offs that they get to do whatever they want with. I love it. I think it's brilliant.
I mean, I also say this about older artists. I mean, we are getting to the point where Magic's 35 years in or whatever, just about. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be around forever, right? We've already lost them like Christopher Rush, Quentin Hoover, you know, whatever. Like some of these are going to end up having even more value as we start using these older artists because they're not going to do too many more pieces. Like we have some that have even said, hey, they have to step away because of health reasons or whatever. So getting those pieces is starting to become limited.
Yeah, let's move on here to number 9. Now, for my number 9, I was honestly surprised looking back through this. I was like, you know, oh, this all started with The Walking Dead, right? This all started with The Walking Dead. It did not start with The Walking Dead. Not even like close, honestly, which is kind of crazy. It started a year before that with the OG, with my number 9, with Bitter Blossom Dreams.
Yep.
Bitter Blossom Dreams was the OG. It was the first in December 2019. One of the first, you can arguably count as the first. The card numbers are 001 for the snow-covered plains set on Eldraine, which is worth $6 because who bought this? Not very many. And yeah, the Bitter Blossom Dreams was rad. It had Bitter Blossom and a cool token and whatnot. I thought it was rad. And for getting kickstarted, I mean, I think they did a good job. And anything between Bitter Blossom Dreams and some other ones like OMG Kitties, like really showed that, yeah, Wizards can dip their toe into the secondary market and people are ready to buy them.
Not just that, I think you got like a stack of tokens with the
Yeah.
Bitter Blossom. It's
Yeah, I
like,
think you got
I don't know if
four.
it was 5, 4. Okay, yeah, I
was
remember
4,
there being
yeah.
multiple. So you had your fancy tokens to go with your fancy Bitter Blossom.
Yeah,
Right.
which is great. I think that, you know, if you're going to make a special printing of something that makes tokens, you should almost be required to ship out a fancy version of that token with the thing you send out. Like if they make a fancy Batter Skull, let's say, that's the first example I thought of. But if they make a fancy Batter Skull, they should send you a germ token. If they make a fancy Krenko Mob Boss, you should get some Goblin tokens. I definitely agree, like that. And the fact that this one, they knew it right from the very start, is great. And I love it.
Yeah, this is also where they began putting Kindred on the enchantments versus Tribal.
Right. That was
So-
also
yeah,
one of the reasons why I think they made that printing is because they wanted a version of Bitter Blossom that had the current wording.
There you go. All right, Ruben, what's number 9?
My number 9 is one that I remember there being hype for when it first came out, and it had hype for a couple of reasons. One is it was a relatively later era of Secret Lair, and a lot of people had gotten sort of Secret Lair fatigue or Secret Lair exhaustion. But also, it had been a minute since people had been excited for the staples, been excited specifically for the Commander staples. And this one was a really nice return to form for just cards that everybody needs for a lot of decks, and that is Through the Wormhole. The Through the Wormhole Secret Versary Super Drop, both the foil and the non-foil, were space art, spaceship and space suit and planets and stuff art. And I remembered people being like, wow, this is something so new and so different. It's hyping us up for Edge of Eternities, which as we're recording this is out right now, and getting us excited to go somewhere that Magic had never gone before, which was to space. And it gave us 5 new printings, exciting printings in a really exciting foil version, as well as a non-foil of Arcane Signet, Thought Vessel, Lightning Greaves, Command Tower, and Soul Ring. And then the bonus card in this set, if you remember, was Solemn Simulacrum. So 6 extremely popular artifacts in the Commander format.
And
Yeah,
the
nothing to
value was
complain
there.
about there. That selection of cards was great for that.
Yeah, the value is 100% there. These things are ridiculous. The $44
Yeah.
Arcane Signet, $27 Lightning Greaves, $60 Soul Ring, like, you know, and this was a package that you could have purchased for $29.99 or $49.99. This was also one of those sort of special foil things that were a little bit more expensive. So there's also that that difference there as well. But yeah, I also love the fact that, you know, they started to kind of say, look, we don't have to print everything special or unique if it's like Jurassic Park cards or whatever. We can just like make killer staples, which I love. All right. Power Dragon, what's number 9?
Mine, this was one that was just strictly fun. And it was like, hey, let's just do something fun, different, cute, that everybody can enjoy. Everybody can share the little pictures on social. And I remember this being one of the more positive Secret Lairs I did, but this is the Lil Walkers Secret Lair with the Tamio, Ajani, Angrath, Ashiok, and Soren, I believe. So yeah, really cool, just fun, cute things, you know, and enough that they ended up coming back to this later because it was so well received. But it's one of those things that's like kind of a forgotten art style sort of thing you didn't see very much, but applied to Magic, it was really fun. So yeah, this one's one just for something different, fun. It was good social PR for them. Like it looks great on play mats, on deck boxes, like just everything worked with this.
Yeah, and it came through with the value as well. Narset's almost $20. Elspeth is $20 when every other version of this is like $1, which is cool. And yeah, just a great art style that I think is super fun. And I thought that was fun. I like it. All right, and that was at the Hasbro PulseCon 2022 as a virtual event. Remember back in 2022, we were still in the virtual world, which was
that's right.
It was a whole thing. All right, let me type this in our little spreadsheet here.
In the future, I'll have to share with some stories about the first HasCon.
Boy. all kinds of fun stuff. Well, let me tell you here. For moving on here to number 8, my number 8 is one of those things that, like, you know, at some point, Secret Lair becomes almost a creative endeavor more than just like a resale, secondary market. Let's get some more copies of these cards and so on.
Yeah.
It becomes like, what could they possibly do? And at one point, they said during April Foolish, if you will, they said, what if we just make left-handed magic cards? What if we just
Yeah.
went there? What if we just did it?
I forgot about
Yeah,
those.
that
Why don't we
was
just
funny.
go? So
I
they
enjoyed
made,
that.
they made left-handed magic cards, which were incredible. Literally something called Finally Left-Handed Magic Cards. Their numbers started at 9999 with Sis A, and it's just, if anything, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
To see the costs in the top left versus the top right. And I didn't know this. I read this somewhere when I was researching all this, is that back in the day when Magic first came out, they were going to print left-handed versions of the cards. They just started with the top right, and they were going to eventually print a top left version, Magicked, and they were like, forget all that. We don't even need to do that. And so now we start counting down from 9,999 with some silly cards that are, worth a few bucks, nothing crazy, but I still love it, and I think it's great.
Right. That's very fun. I really enjoy that.
It's literally just saying, like, how quirky can we be and people still be okay to hand us money, right? Like, what's the weirdest thing we can do? And actually, I kind of dig them. Like, just the idea of just looking at them in your hand when everything's on the wrong side is kind of amusing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Rograk, son of
Rograk. Yeah. Very popular CEDH card in a variety of decks. And until very recently, this was the best version of Rograk that you could have in your command zone. Partially, I mean, because it's a partner in particular, you could put it next to your other partner card and it would look symmetrical.
Ooh,
Sorry.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
I love it. Well, it's ridiculous and it's silly and it's left-handed magic cards. So, Ruben, what's number 8?
My number 8, I wish that I had known that we were going to be spouting poetic already about Dan Fraser, because I also have Dan Fraser here on my list. These are the enemy talismans. It's worth talking about Dan Fraser again, just because he's such an indelible part of Magic history. This style of art, particularly on artifact mana, is hugely important to the oeuvre of Magic. I love these talismans. The Talisman of Dominance sort of looks like like a Geiger painting almost. Just a very weird energy to these jewels that are being worn on necklaces.
Yeah, this was just fun. And I think kind of falls in the same space, as the signets of just like, hey, these are things that people just enjoy. They're out there, they get played. And again, throwback to the guy who did the original art for some of the most prominent mana artifacts in Magic. So, like, really cool. Just let him do more art. Why not?
Yeah.
And these are the most expensive versions, not even close. The Talisman of Creativity is $32.
Yep.
That's twice as expensive as the Doctor Who uncommon version. So, yeah, they're awesome. And Dan Fraser makes awesome stuff in really cool old frames that people like and enjoy. And if they make more, you should probably buy some because they're great. Power Dragon, what's number 8?
Number 8. This was one that I actually got really excited about when I saw it. This comes back to when I was working at Wizards. There was an opportunity, and shout out to Chris Tulloch, who's there. But we had this idea of what if we could get the children of famous Magic artists to do versions of some of the artists' favorite pieces, right? So we're like, imagine John Avon's kid, if he had one, doing like the little silly looking Christmas tree style trees for a forest, right? It would have been cool. Unfortunately, with the timing of what we want to do, we can never get it together. And everybody sort of put a pin in it, going to get revisited later. But then Extra Life 2021 came out and we did the thing. So there was a Muldrifter, a Crater Hoof, and a Metalwork Colossus.
Yep.
That they had the regular version, and then they had the kids' drawing version that they turned, that they made real art from, which I thought was really cool. So it was cool to see the concept, not necessarily the same, but the idea really implemented, and it worked. So it was just one of those things I got really excited about it when I saw it.
And Mark Rosewater drew the Questing Feldegriff.
Right.
Yeah.
It's still worth 50 cents.
Yep. Yeah, not as popular of a commander as it used to be.
Not too many people playing the old questing Felder
This is one I'd like to see them revisit. I'd like to see this again. I think this is a cute enough idea that this one has legs and they could come back to.
And the Crater Hoof Behemoth was worth it, as it always was. $22 for the children version and $24 for the artist version. So that's great. But and that's where they needed to put some money into it so people want to buy it. But 50% of all the proceeds went toward charity, which was great, which is fantastic. So you gotta love that. And all good times around. I remember that one being just a real fun time, particularly when it happened. 2021, kind of a dark period. It's good that we had fun with it and could really enjoy it, which was nice.
Plus, it's fun beating your opponent down with just like a kid's drawing of a crater.
Right.
It's definitely much more fun.
I mean, it was much more of a novelty, certainly before you just started dying to like Knuckles the Echidna and Rick.
Yeah, exactly.
Walking Dead and 11. It was a different time.
Oh, it was a different time. All right, let me tell you. All right, so let's move on here to number 7. My number 7, which was a fun one. Let's see here. Let's see. Honor was a whole thing, because let me tell you, this was, if I remember correctly, and it might be before or after, but this is certainly the first sort of movie that Wizards ever made a secret lair for. They did something for like the Sorcerer's Apprentice back in the day, but it was like a silly thing just online. This was actually released, and if anything, this is one of my greatest like regrets of not purchasing one. The D&D Honor Among Thieves secret lair is packed to the gills with dollars because it has real versions, it has real actors likenesses on them, and those are always highly sought after, if you will. And some of them are really expensive, and if nothing else, it's just great to sort of show like, hey, check out these really cool actors doing stuff in a Wizards universe, but also in a secret lair version.
Yeah, this was fun, man. Like, I took a chance on a couple of those because, like, these cards are actually playable and they're entertaining. So, like, why not? And if the movie bombs, whatever. Turns out the movie was a lot of fun, and then the cards went up in value. So it kind of worked out great.
Right.
Yeah, the Doric, was still $27, and even the Universes Within version, which they later made, is worth about half as much. So it's good, clean living in terms of value here.
Oh yeah.
Goodness, for the one $25 for the one with what's his nuts, Chris Pine.
Chris Pine. Yeah, I think he's the one.
Yeah. Chris Pine was $25, not because it's the greatest Magic card in the world. It's got
Chris Pine on it,
which is fantastic.
That's great.
They've later put actors on cards and things, but I think this was the first time, and it was important. And a lot of my list was like, what are some of the important sort of milestones that they hit? And this one was, I think, very important. Ruben?
Yeah, I mean, it was the first time that they put characters from the movie. I mean, other than like Secret Lair, Walking Dead specifically, I guess.
Right, but also from a movie versus a TV show.
Right. It's different when it's a movie, and it's also when it's different when it comes out with the thing, as opposed to being a sort of retrospective piece. Right. This was a marketing part of the marketing for the movie, as I understand it.
Yeah, and the D&D set unfortunately didn't line up with the movie release.
Yeah, it didn't work out perfectly, but
whatever, it's fine. It still worked out. What's your number 7?
My number 7 is, speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, they came out with a couple of great D&D ones, particularly for the 50th anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons. And the one that I'm going to go with is Exhibition of Adventure, which Exhibition of Adventure was a fun one for me in particular, because they took old book covers from old D&D adventures and put them on Magic cards for the first time. So it's not even that they commissioned new art. It's not even that they used it from like the slush pile. They had books published in the last 50 years and then put them as the art to new Magic cards. Most notably, that Faithless Looting is from the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Player's Handbook, originally published in 1978. And oh, by the way, you can check that one off on your bingo sheet. Ruben says, oh, by the way, the flavor text for each of these cards is their original printing date. So the Fell the Mighty has the cover of the first supplement from 1975. The Goldspan Dragon has the basic rules red box dragon on it, and so on and so forth. The bonus card in this set was Dark Deal, which was a sketch that was originally going to be on the 5th edition player's handbook that I don't think they ended up using. But there were some it's just a really fun little retrospective of 50 years of Dungeons and Dragons.
Wow. And yeah, you can definitely tell those special versions, $6 for that Faithless Looting and 25 cents for every other version.
Sure.
Yep. Which is fun. But yeah, I mean, anything that can kind of celebrate things in that manner, they don't have to pay a bunch for the art. It's just like, just bask in that nostalgia. Just feed us that nostalgia and nom, 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 nom. We will chow down and enjoy.
Yeah. And we're going to get that. We got a little bit of that with Final Fantasy and some of the alternate legendary cards. We're going to get a lot more of that with Spider-Man, where we can get covers of comic books. We're going to get more of that with Avatar: The Last Airbender, where they're taking shots from the show and putting them on the bonus sheet cards. So I think it's a well that they can keep going back to, not only to draw outside inspiration, but inspire from inside. We have all of these beautiful covers and pieces of art from 50 years of Dungeons and Dragons and 30 years of Magic. Why not give them an additional time in the sun?
Not to mention, it's just such a small, just a drop in the ocean of like D&D works that you could use, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Just a ton of stuff out there you could go to. Power Dragon, what's number 7?
Number 7, one, it's got to be dragon themed because I got to have at least one of those on here. But honestly, this is one I actually had some regrets on because it had all the hallmarks of one I would buy and throw in the closet. And for whatever reason, I missed it and wasn't able to buy it. And I was super disappointed. And I was absolutely right that everything went ridiculous on it. But it's Here Be Dragons.
Yeah.
Yes.
And mostly because of 2 cards, Old Gnawbone and Tiamat hanging out in here. And they all use the old D&D monster manual style art for all of them, which is cool. People love that. And the bonus card is a card that's not even that good that's still worth money. Dragon's Horde. You know, so that's the thing. But it does get played in Dragon decks. But yeah, just overall, this one just had so much stupid value right out of the gate. And it also follows the thing I've noticed is when you have secret layers that have more than 5 cards, and they also come with like extra tokens or other stuff, those usually tend to be pretty good. So you should be paying attention to those. And this follows that. It's 6 dragons. You got a token for the Icing Death.
Yep.
And you have a bonus card. So it's like, yeah, your money was going to be there even if none of them popped off.
And because this was through Beetle and Grimm's, which makes high-end gaming supplies, not only did you get the 7 cards that were printed in that beautiful monster manual printing that I absolutely love, not only did you get the great value from the 2 of those that are incredibly expensive, you also got a dragon life counter and a deck box.
Yep.
And some sleeves, looks like.
And some sleeves.
Yeah, it was a crazy package.
It was a lot of value. It was one of the more expensive ones because it's a Beetle and Grimm's thing, but you got just this incredible life counter and deck box and all of this other stuff. So, yeah, that's a great one. That one was very close to my list. I figured I should only have 1, maybe 2 Dungeons and Dragons ones on my list. So
I don't know
yeah.
if they actually have the cost. I want to say it was like 119 or 110,
something like that. It was around
like
$100.
Yeah,
around $100 or so. But I mean, at this point, the Tiamat is $98. Old Gnawbone is $105.
Oh yeah.
Plus, literally everything else is gravy at that point. Which
I think the
ridiculous.
bonus card's like $30 or $40.
Woo!
Like several of the others are like $6 to $8. Like it was stupid. And you also got it in front of a bunch of D&D players in the process because it was through Beetle and Grimm and everything else. So I'm sure that kind of helped with the scarcity and collectability of it as well.
Oh yeah. So moving on. Excuse me. Moving on to number 6. I'm kind of taking a double dip on this one as well, because if I'm going to kind of know, sort of first ofs, Bitter Blossom was the first, Left-Handed Magic cards was crazy. A D&D was something from a movie, which had actors in it, which was cool. This one was, I believe, the first one based on an actual person in the world. And that was the Post Malone backstage pass and the lands. This was the October Super Draw from 2022. That's almost 3 years ago now. And it featured, Post Malone on Magic cards. And it was kind of nuts to have Post Son of Rich on there and Post's Citadel and, Post's Sigil. And it was nuts, right? And so I thought that was kind of cool. It's kind of a very big pop culture moment that can sort of set the stage that any artist and or I think big enough, artist slash actor or creator or whatever, I think could have their own Magic card set. I think you could have something like a Harrison Ford set or a Steven Spielberg set or something, or a character in a movie type set built around just that character. This, I think just broke a lot of molds in terms of what is possible with Secret Lair.
I mean, we have a lot of nerds that are actors. I mean,
Yeah.
you could have your, I don't know, Allison Hannigans and whatever.
Henry
right?
Cavill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Those could show up. They could show up on Magic cards. Why not? Like that could be some fun stuff, and people would be into it.
Yeah, I will definitely take it. I think it's really cool, and just one of those things. It broke barriers. Let's move on here to number 6 for Ruben. What do you got?
We've talked about it once already, but it is worth talking about the Walking Dead Secret Lair, because that really was a paradigm shift of not only what a Secret Lair could be, but what Magic could be to popular culture. It really was a Rubicon that we passed over into the Smash Brothers-ification of Magic the Gathering, putting Rick, steadfast leader, and Glenn and Lucille on Magic cards, mechanically unique Magic cards, was something that had never been done before. It was something that we spent weeks discussing on the show, and it was something that we're still talking about to this day.
Well, they only gave you 8 days to buy it, and they were mechanically unique cards. And then remember, they specifically said they were not going to do in-universe versions of these cards, which caused its own extra wave of controversy and gnashing of teeth. This was we're talking, middle of pandemic. All right. This was my number 10, by the way. This is unbelievably groundbreaking for a few reasons, obviously, because it mixes, matches in some different properties and whatnot. But for me, it was this said, we're just going to print them during these 8 days. And after we print those, that's it. You're done. You're never going to get them ever again in the history of the world, blah, blah, blah. Like, hold on, guys. Could we just say that eventually you could print them somewhere else? And they're like, we're absolutely not going to print them somewhere else. And then everyone just lost their minds. I know I lost mine. Like, I had many DMs with lots of people at Wizards at the time going like, guys, this is serious. Like this, you're past, this is the Rubicon. If you're telling me this is the only 8 days these Magic cards are ever going to be sold ever, that's a serious thing. Right? Oh my God. So A, super glad they obviously went back on that decision. B, it was awesome because it did show the power of the sale. Like they sold an absolute crap ton. But, they can still be cool, interesting, worth money, but also not like just kind of break the idea that these cards will never be sold again.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This set reminded everybody that FOMO is real. Cool. I mean, 8 days, and everybody said, well, I might need to buy 3, 4, 5 of these, and it lined up. It kind of also showed us the timing of things with Universes Beyond products, right? Where it was lining up with I think the season or the series finale was starting that year. And It was kind of part of the press tour for them to talk about different things going on. So it really did just say, hey, Magic can be part of pop culture. Not everything has to come to us. We can be part of it as well.
Yeah, this was honestly, this was a little scary for me. I mean, in the middle of enough scary time, October 2020, everyone was in lockdown. No one wanted to go anywhere. Everything was digital. Everyone was afraid. There was no vaccines whatsoever. And
hey, emotions were already high too. People were looking for something to lash out at.
Right. People were cranked. You couldn't go to pre-releases at stores. No one had seen each other. You're all trying to do this virtual thing. And man, in the middle of it came this, and it wasn't even Universal's Beyond yet. Like that was before that moniker even showed up. So yeah, big time, really cool. My number 10 as well. Power Dragon, what's number 6?
My number 6 is going to be higher on somebody's list, and it kind of makes total sense actually.
Oh, I'm okay with it. All right, let's move on here to number 5. So if we are breaking things, if we are doing the Smash Brotherification of Magic, if we're going to go somewhere, which I didn't even imagine that they were going to go. Like I was so impressed with this. I could not believe this. I'm like, wait. You're making Arcane Secret Lair cards? We're making cards for a different video game? We're making for the League of Legends people? For like Riot, who's kind of sort of your competitors? But no, they all came together for the Secretversary 2021, and they made Arcane and Arcane Lands. And I was kind of shocked, honestly. because if you haven't seen it, Arcane is a really terrific show. I really need to watch season 2 because season 1 was absolutely fantastic. And I heard season 2 was pretty good. But the idea that we can just go to a competitor's, property and make some magic cards for them and sell them as part of these drops kind of blew my mind at the time.
Well, this was also well before we knew anything about them making a card game, which we didn't start talking about till last year. But honestly, this is kind of the difference, I think, sometimes of how we as players and as fans view Magic's competition as to how Wizards views competition.
Right.
Within the walls of Wizards, they view entertainment as competition, right? Like they want to consume your time versus you going to the movie theater or the bowling alley or whatever, right? It's how do we fit into that? They're not so worried about, all right, some of our players we know are also going to play Pokemon or whatever, right? That's not something they're worried about. Like they're making plenty of money despite that. And I think this kind of showed that to people a little bit of like, yeah, we know people also play League of Legends. That's fine. Right? We're also going to know that because of that, you're going to buy these cards too.
And Riot also has that attitude to an even further degree where they're like, we are gonna do whatever the hell we want. We know that people play Magic, so if we can get advertising in, if we can get our advertising dollars in while people are playing Magic, that's great. I'm super on board with that. This one also had a pretty hilarious bonus card named Gromp, which was a Spore Frog. And because I love Spore Frog, and Gromp is adorable. I don't know anything about League of Legends. I don't know anything about Arcane, but Gromp is hilarious.
And it's a $6 card where the rest are 30 cents. So
great.
They also gave you Unstable Harmonics, aka Ristic Study, which is $65 these days.
Sure. Yeah.
Ristic Study is going to Ristic Study, and that's a hell of a card to throw in there. So they gave it some good value, and they really, like I said, worked with another company to help promote their stuff, and I thought that was great.
Everybody wins, and
absolutely.
The collectors and the nerds who play both of them win,
Yeah. Ruben, what's number 5?
Would you like to know my number 5?
Yes.
As you wish.
Oh, snap.
My number 5 is The Princess Bride.
Nice.
I love The Princess Bride. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. I've seen it literally 100 times. I watched The Princess Bride on mute on my phone on an airplane within the last 6 months.
Oh my God.
Because I just wanted to have it near me. It makes me feel so good, this movie. It is just a delight. And the way that they translated The Princess Bride into Magic was really lovely. Not only are there 9 cards in the Princess Bride Secret Lair, but one of them is Silence, and one of them is Battle of Wits, which is perfect. These are exactly the kinds of cards you want in this. And then the rest of them are legends that have sort of been reimagined. So we have Sisay Weatherlight Captain, but instead it's a Buttercup Provincial Princess. Right. We have Vicini, but instead it's Baral, etc. So this was great for my heart and my soul, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah, this was one of the first Secret Lairs I think I actually purposely didn't order because I thought, well, if this is going to sell out, I know people are bigger fans than I am, and it would suck to just be holding on to these when I know other people really want it. But I'm not going to lie, I kind of did want a little bit of an Andre the Giant on a card, which is pretty sweet, but it was a cool one to see that you're just taking old movies that people are fans of and turning them into Magic cards.
Yeah, I mean, and the value is there. I mean, $37 Buttercup, $30 Silence. And it's not because Silence is the greatest Magic card that's ever going to show up. And, Samut, Voice of Dissent is not that great, but it's going to be almost $40 if you want a Nego on it.
And it's another one that was more than 5 cards.
That's right.
It's true. Yep.
I mean, if you didn't buy this one, honestly, you fell victim to one of the classic blunders.
Wow.
Which is that's on you ultimately.
That is indeed on them, as it turns out. All right, Power Dragon. What's number 5?
We have a lot of similar lines of thinking, so also my number 5 is higher on somebody's list.
All right. There's nothing wrong with that. Let me see here. See if I can get this underway. All right, so let's move on here to number 4. Now, with number 4, once again, we are breaking the mold. We are doing something new and weird. I love when Magic itself does something new and does something weird. And so, I gotta stand up and be like, whoa, what's going on here? What's going on? The first time you've ever had a secret lair that's like $100? You're telling me you want to give me a whole deck? You tell me there's a whole commander deck in here? Are you trying to tell me that you can get heads I win, tails you lose is the whole deck?
Right.
Right here under the
That's
secret
a good one.
Mercury
I forgot.
2021. This
was
was
that was a secret lair technically.
if I'm correct, this was the first commander deck they sold in this manner through a secret lair. It was a giant question mark. Are people going to like this? Is it going to work out or not? Spoiler alert, totally worked out. Everything was great. Cards are worth plenty. The deck's worth plenty, and it was all cool. I know if I recall, it actually did take a little while for people to get their decks.
Yeah, some people it took like 4 or 5 months.
Because it was so popular with such a high amount of value. And when you want to print one, you can't just print 15 cards for a booster pack. You got to print a whole deck and then package the whole deck together. So that's a whole thing in and of itself. But Heads I Win, Tails You Lose broke a lot of ground in that manner. It showed that full decks of this value could be sold. Of a $100 price tag, can you do it? Yes. And in the future, I think they've seen them, change that a little bit. Sometimes it's been like 120, 130. But if the value's there, the unique versions are there, the cool promo or special, treatments are there, people will be excited for it and they will buy it.
Yeah, and the long-term value was there on this one, which, by the way, this was my number 6, which doesn't surprise me. Like I said, this is one that was definitely a key point in just the creation of secret layers. Now, this is almost a tradition. I think we've gotten one a year since they've done this, actually. Right. So we keep getting different ones. And I think that's going to continue. I mean, it's just an easy chunk of sales for them, in the late fall, early winter, if they want to do it every year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that this was the ideal first one also. A coin flip centric Okun and Zinderspult commander pairing makes perfect sense. Shipping issues notwithstanding, you're going to, when you have a secret lair, there's already going to be a bunch of consternation and hand wringing about not being able to access them and fear of missing out, much less when it's 10 times the amount of cards than you're normally going to be expecting. But it was designed well. It was clearly a smash hit and favorite idea that they've replicated going forward.
Also note, it came with a unique flipping coin. I'll put this on the screen.
Right. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
On the one side was Zindersplit, and the other side was a Cohen, which was really cool, red and blue. And there were special promos. Zindersplit is $23 promo. Ocohen is $24. Right. Propaganda is $30. This is a $30
and also,
propaganda.
I haven't seen one of these sell for less than 300 in a while.
Wow.
So I've seen as high as 4. I don't know if people have actually gotten that.
That sounds like a lot, but it's also 99 cards.
Right.
Yeah. But also $350 for something you paid $100 for is nice.
Right. For sure. A special coin, 10 double-sided tokens, a life wheel, the deck box, 45 foil reprints, 50 non-foil reprints, and 5 foil reversible special new card arts. I mean, it was there, man. The value was seriously there. And I think that it did a good job at promoting it and selling it. And that's why it took so long for people to get their stuff. All right, let's move on to Ruben's number 4. What you got?
My number 4 is one of a style of secret lair that Magic has done, which is sort of an homage to one of the cultures of Magic players. We've had a few of these in the past. We've had, recognizing the diversity of the Magic fan base and player base and creator base for that matter. And this is one of those. And I decided to go with Nuestra Magia, which is done in league with the National Association of Latino Arts and Cultures. This one was 7 cards and 2 tokens, including a treasure and a food token, and included cards that are sort of universes beyond, but in the real world. So like universes real world versions of cards. The Silven Library is inspired by Aztec lore. We've got a Chancla, an honest to goodness Chancla, on the Lightning Greaves there. And the bonus card in this set is a Tybalt's Trickery that is about the boogeyman. Not necessarily La Llorona, but the Coco is sort of a monster in the closet, so to speak. And Tybalt's Trickery is also quite some value. So
There you
Yeah,
go.
I like this one just because they went the extra mile and also made some available in Spanish.
Yeah.
It's for that culture, and you just went the extra mile and said, hey, if we're going to do this, let's also make it accessible to an extra group of people. And just even if they can speak English, just like, hey, you can have this in your native language and just enjoy it that much more, which I thought was a really cool thing to do. And this was my number 5, actually. So
Nice.
I'm with it just from the cultural standpoint, but also if you're going to do, and for any company, right? If you're going to do these types of cultural efforts, it's really cool when you take that extra step to say, like, no, this is really an appreciation thing here. And the money's going to a charity, to a good cause.
Yeah, I mean, look at the expressive iteration. I have it up on screen right now. Absolute, just gorgeous. Just like this giant like amount of rainbow gorgeousness, all stylized and fantastic, and I love it. And this will be the version.
Oh,
I
and
have
dude,
if I would want to use
the
it.
soul ring is great. Like they always in these special sets, the soul rings are always cool looking.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, the soul ring is super cool with the mask there, which is great. Yeah, so love that. And that was your number 5 and his number 4, which is cool. All right, let's move on here to number 3. Now, speaking of cultures, mine's definitely one about how culturally important it is, but it's also higher on someone else's list.
Oh, wait. I have a number 4.
Oh,
before
I'm
we get to
sorry. We
number
did
3.
skip that because that was your number 5.
Yeah.
So what is your,
Yeah.
well, let's move back here. What is your number 4 Power Dragon?
My number 4 is actually a fun one because it's April Fool's.
Oh.
This is one I think people forgot about because sadly, I think people forget it was supposed to be a 4-card set that I believe you were going to be able to buy through your local retailers, but they eventually
yes.
pulled Squire because of
Right,
some controversy
yes.
with Noah Bradley.
I remember this.
So it only
Oh,
ended up being a
goodness.
3-card set that had the Storm Crow or Crow Storm, I believe, or whatever,
Yep.
the Goblin, Snowman, and a Mud Hole. So it was kind of a really weird, just like, hey, we're going to have fun, make some quirky cards in this April Fool's thing. You can only pick it up at your local retailer. But I like the idea of, hey, let's test something out, put it out into the world. Let's make something available that's exclusive. And now that channel's been open. Like just recently, we're talking about doing another secret layer, making it available for retailers. And they can all kind of be part of the process now, which is really cool. And it kind of starts with doing a small thing like this so you can do the bigger things later.
I mean, that's a $7 Storm Crow. Let's get it straight.
It is indeed.
Yeah, don't get that twisted for sure.
$6 Goblin Snowman. And we do still have the image of the Squire, what it would
We
be,
do.
but that was Noah Bradley, and then everything went upside down there. So
Yeah.
We also get white bordered Tybalt the Fiend Blooded.
Oh, that is true. I forgot that was in there. That was
which was the
2-mana
bonus
Tybalt.
card.
yes. Anything whiteboarded I absolutely love, by the way. I think
Yeah.
that's great.
I love whiteboarded stuff now. When it was being made, I didn't love it. It's like disco, right? It's like whenever when it's being made, it's like, this is dumb.
Yeah,
What are we
crap.
doing?
But when you look
Like,
back,
Goblin
like,
jeans are stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
so it's
Yeah, I'm
theme
gonna
night.
break out. I'm gonna
That's,
break out my acid wash jeans. Exactly right.
There you go.
All right. A very cool number 4. I like it for April Fools. Let's move on here to number 3. Mine's higher on somebody else's list. Ruben, what you got?
We're going way back. One of the OG secret lairs, one of the OMG secret lairs, as a matter of fact. Flawless segue. I picked this one not only because it was so early, not only because it's adorable, also because it features a former co-worker of Evan and mine, Andrea Radek. I believe this was her debut as an artist for a Magic card, but she has done lots of them in the last 15 years. This is OMG Kitties. So OMG Kitties had a bunch of green-white cats in it, as well as some cat tokens. Had Leonin War Leader and Regal Caracol. And I believe that the Arabo Roar of the Wild is probably the chase card out of this one. I would guess would be the chase card out of this one because those eminence commanders are popular.
Yeah, wow. She Andrea got to do 2 of these cards, the Regal Caracal and the Miri, which was great. And we got to work with her, every day in the office right there, next to Miss Plesko. And got to be able to, illustrate cool stuff. Always wanted to be a Magic artist. That was one thing we talked about. And she got her chance, and now has been doing all sorts of stuff, started doing a bunch of unrelated stuff, right? Unsets stuff, which is cool. And this is one of those I purchased because I knew it's cute. It's got a cat or a dog in it. Man, that's just dollars. That's just straight dollars.
Yep. And you get long-term rewarded because then they made a what you called commander deck that had the cats and dogs. So then this also was the thing that people want. So yeah, just so much good stuff here. Just a great choice. And every card I think is worth something out of this.
Oh yeah, that Airbo's $55.
Yeah.
Goodness
Oh my
gracious.
gosh, I did not think it would be that much.
Yeah. I think a
Yeah.
bunch of them in there are like 15 or 20 bucks a piece. Like,
that was
it's a very value laden set.
And that was a $40 drop. They were only in foil, just $40. That's it. And man, you would have gotten the value and then some, let me tell you. So very, very cool. Let's move on here to Power Dragons number 3. What you got?
My number 3, this is the one where I felt like all the people that were on the fence on I hate Universes Beyond, I hate Secret Layers, we shouldn't be doing these crossovers, whatever. This is when I saw a bunch of people who were on that side of the fence get kind of on board, and it was with Street Fighter. I feel like I started seeing the mood change. People wanted to get their like Blanca play mats or their Ryu deck boxes, like that. It's like, okay, you were against it till they made the thing you really like. Now all of a sudden you're like, okay, I kind of get it now, right? Like, so,
Yeah.
And again, it's another one that had a bunch of cards in it, right? Because they covered a lot of characters. Like, this was just a cool one to have. All of the merchandise for it, people were chasing down because all the Ultra Pro theme stuff they were making. Right. So, like, yeah, this one had to make my list because I felt like this was the turning point for a lot of people where folks started to become okay with Secret Layers.
Yeah, I definitely recall this one being like a change in tone of just like, wait a minute, that Chun-Li is fantastic and I love it because it has multi-kicker, just like Chun-Li has the you see how it works, guys? And everyone like lost their crap. Now, also note that it had a few more cards in it, but it was also more expensive. This was $40 and $50 versus 30 and 40, which was kind of the norm at the time. And this was back around February 2022, so a little over 3 years ago. But yeah, there was a tide turning moment where they do have universes within versions now, but that still doesn't mean the original versions aren't worth way more because it's Street Fighter.
Yep, people want the name character. Like replacement Blanca ain't Blanca.
Right.
True.
The other thing about these that I thought was interesting was how much care and attention was paid to the lore of Street Fighter into the translation of the abilities onto Magic cards.
Yeah.
The conversation around this secret lair wasn't merely, oh, cool, we get Street Fighter cards. It was, they know Street Fighter. Like, Magic designers know Street Fighter if they're making the jokes and references that they're making on these 8 cards. And so I thought that was fascinating. My only complaint was that the Hadouken that got put into this secret lair was a lightning bolt. Like, I felt like Hadouken could have been like anything. But, whatever. That's a minor quibble. I think that, making Ryu with the untap symbol was a joke that was incredible. As you mentioned, multi-kicker is a great one. Dhalsim having reach and being like your reach commander is hilarious. So there was a lot going on here that was excellent.
Yeah, and I think that also made it okay for players now when you hear, like, now we have, at the time of this recording, an Avatar set coming, and nobody went like, oh my God, they're going to ruin this. Everybody's like, oh, sweet, I wonder what they're going to do for my favorite character, right? Like, everybody knows now that, like, no, WotC gets it. They're letting the right people that are fans work on every set, so you get the right flavor for all your cards.
Yeah, I think, and that is so crazy important, and it's it's one of those, I think, easy things that can be discounted and like, well, they just like the characters, you don't have to do that much work to make the abilities, resonate. Like, no, you do.
You kind of do.
That full package is what makes it so interesting and so worthwhile and just, just so much fun. Like, you want all the pieces to work together, not just some of them.
Even with Final Fantasy, so you heard several of the people in R&D say, yeah, we went back and replayed some of the games, right? Just to make sure the flavor was right, or it was the way I remembered it or whatever. So, same thing with Lord of the Rings. Like, they're putting in the time to make it worth it for everybody.
Yeah, which is really nice. I mean, you can tell the care and attention that they've been putting into the references and the Secret Lairs and the Universes Beyond sets. It's a more focused care that they give now than they did at the very, very beginning before they really invested into the whole thing.
Yeah, before they figured out how much money it was really going to make.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, show. Now, look, for my number 2 is when we're at number 2. I think that this to me, like, as soon as I saw it and it was special, as soon as I saw it, I needed to buy it. It's back there on the shelf behind me. And it's one of those one of those drops that, when 50% of each one sold is donated directly to the Trevor Project.
Yep.
I'm already in, bro. I'm already in. You got me. Because Pride Across the Multiverse was an absolutely fantastic, series drop, which was great. It helps when you get to give to charity, so you never feel bad getting it. It's got a bunch of really cool cards. The Bearscape is one of the coolest things just ever. Even if Bearscape ain't that great of a card,
Right.
dudes hanging out in the hot tub is fantastic, or the hot water, whatnot. It's hot springs.
Yeah, the hot
It's great.
springs.
Yeah, super cool. I love it. Just a bunch of cards to celebrate what's going on here and the community and whatnot. And I just thought it was great. I loved it. Fantastic.
Yeah, and credit to them for, just going in on the artwork and everything else. Because again, if you're gonna do it and it's for charity, don't shy away from it, right? Just
Right.
go all into it. Like, savor the moment. Like, you have a gay couple kissing on the card. Like, let it be the thing. Like, if you're gonna do it,
Right.
just do it, right? Don't give lip service, no pun intended, but don't just give lip service to the thing that you're doing. Go all in, support the community. Like, chef's kiss. They hit
Yeah.
all the right points on this one.
Yeah, it's Rouse Eric and who was the other character? I can't remember.
Atomic.
Yeah, Tomic.
Yeah. Just I do as this flavor text is just like
Yeah.
you gotta love it. I think it's great. So yeah, this was fantastic. It's like it could have been one of the most sort of, it made me feel really good buying it. Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's one
of
those
course.
like, yeah, I feel good. I get a little something. Trevor Project gets half. Let's go. Everybody's happy. Let's go. I thought that was great. All right, Ruben, what's number 2?
My number 2 is the only hire that appears on somebody else's list.
Well, that's interesting.
That's my guess. Power Dragon, what's number 2?
Because my number 2 is the one I knew was going to be somebody's number 1. So I just parked it here so we can have the other one as my number 1. So
okay.
yeah.
So do you have a higher on number 2?
I do.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Well, in that case, let's move on here to number 1. And Power Dragon, what's your number 1?
My number 1 is another one where we're talking about supporting communities, putting a lot of cards in the set, lots of value in it, and it's Secret Lair Black is Magic.
Yeah.
Like, when I saw the artwork on those, I instantly went, I'm buying 7.
Yep.
Like, it was like not even a question.
Sure.
And I've been using them for giveaways and charity stuff because the value was like 3 times what it was before it even got into my hands.
Yep.
Like, so sick. Like, even the Teferi art in there is so good. Like, it has such a beautiful soul ring in it. Like, I literally went, there's no way these don't sell. Like, it just, no chance. Like, so I just scooped as many as I could at the time. Like, it was so perfectly done. Thumbs up all around on that one.
Yeah. If I'm being honest with myself, all of my list, the top of my list should be community Secret Lairs. They should all be Black is Magic, Nuestra Magia, the Pride Secret Lair, the number 1 that is also my number 2. There are a lot that I should in all reality have on the list. And of course, this was a wonderful homage to the Black culture, lots of Black cultures, to be fair.
Oh yeah, multiple.
Showing Parenthood and the Cultivate, for example, is another great one. The Soul Ring being the sort of the neck cuff. Yeah, this was a great piece.
Yeah, this was great. This was my number 3, and I'm certainly not surprised that it's here as number 1. And yeah, I just thought it was brilliant. It hit some really sort of cool notes. Like, again, when they're able to kind of dive into the culture, I just think that's brilliant. That's what I want to see. That's what I'm most excited about. And I'm like, yeah, I think it came through really, really great. And there's just kind of a emotion and feeling in these cards that a lot of cards kind of don't reach. And that, like, love of family on the Teferi card is, that's just chef's kiss. I don't know how that gets much better. It's really terrific. All right, Ruben, what is your number 1?
So again, if I'm being honest with myself, it's either Evans or it's Power Dragons or it's Nuestra Magic. But honestly, I wanted this one at number 1 because I'm such a fan of this one in particular. And if you are fans of the show, you'll know how much I loved this Secret Lair when it came out. And I am very weird for loving it. This one's a hot take, I know, but I love it. It's Ornithological Studies.
Okay.
This is the birds Secret Lair.
Yeah.
That have a lot of, and it's an homage kind of to illustrations in field guides of birds, particularly this bird of paradise. I'm a big fan of Birds of Paradise overall as a Magic card. It's the first Magic card I ever got signed when I was 13 years old at Origins Game Fair. I had my 4th edition Birds of Paradises signed by Mark Poole. I love this Gilded Goose. I think that this Baleful Strix that actually looks like a Great Horned Owl is absolutely beautiful and wonderful. I just really like what they did with the Secret Lair. They didn't do too much. They did exactly what they needed to do and no further. This is an exercise in restraint. This is an exercise in just doing exactly what they wanted to do. And I really liked it a lot.
That's a $30 swan song.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I think this is one where, you had a stretch of just, we're going to do some wild art. We're going to do these weird, outside artists to come in and do a quirky thing or whatever. And then it's like, here's some birds.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, everybody chill out. Here's some birds.
Yeah, and I'm okay with it. Again, I think it's neat to just have like, hey, here's a different realism style of art. That's just like, it's just a bird. And that's fine. It's still representative of what's on the card. And it's still fun and useful. And again, a package of cards that actually is all pretty playable.
Yeah, all very playable stuff. Baleful Strix used to be a very expensive card. These days, you get about $1 or whatever. This one's like $10, which is great. But
yeah,
they used
it's
to be
seen
like
a few printings.
Yeah, at one point it was like $20, $30 something card because it was just crazy good in the legacy format. But yeah, all these picks are great. Swan Song obviously being a great money maker there, which is fun, and it's definitely unique, and I like it a lot. All right, so I'm, by process of elimination, I have figured out your number 2.
Yep.
And my number 1.
And my number 2.
Yeah, and your number 2.
Yeah.
And, this was one of those where, as I go through, you go through the list, you think about it, and as soon as I saw it, I'm like, yep, that's my number 1, and it's kind of not even close for me, and obviously very close to the top of your list as well, because it's brilliant, but, even though it comes kind of from sadness, and this being Sheldon's Spellbook as number 1. And Sheldon's Spellbook honors the late Sheldon memory for his contributions, which was great. Part of it went to the American Cancer Society, which is great. We raised over $2 million for it, which was fantastic, representing both the largest fan-driven gift for Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, and the largest Secret Lair charitable donation. And, it sucks that it comes from such a tragic loss, but Sheldon was the godfather of Commander. He was an incredible force on Magic, and not just Commander Magic, not just a casual way to play. He also brought in rule enforcement and judge, sort of scaffolding, built out the judge program, built out what it means to be a head judge, and what it means to have, procedures to catch cheaters, ways to get around things, being slick and sly about it, so cheaters couldn't be, more slick and more sly about it, and really brought a sense of, law and order to those Pro Tour events that he was head judge at for a very long time. And so to have that kind of impact is incredible. And this just kind of, is cherry on top.
Yeah, I assumed this would be the number 1. So I had no doubt it was going to be on the top of the list. This was a cool tribute in the sense that, it was all cards he played or is fans of. They at least fortunately got to talk to him and work with him, before that happened, so that was actually really cool. So it wasn't just like, hey, we're doing this thing. He actually got to be part of the thing that ultimately ends up being the biggest legacy mark, I guess you could have on Secret Lair, which is kind of fantastic. But yeah, doesn't surprise me how well this sold, how many people who didn't even know him, like, felt the impact of what he did and was still felt important to people who had never even crossed paths with him. So yeah, this was a really, really just cool tribute piece. I think we'd all be so lucky if we could have something that gets people this excited, after we pass.
Yeah. To be remembered in this way, by the community, by the game, is special and unique. And I hope that it won't be unique, that someday others who are deserving of the accolade get to have a treatment like this of, ladies and gentlemen, we're putting together a project for Ruben Bressler because of his contributions to the game, or whoever it ends up being, and then make a Secret Lair to that effect. But it takes a special kind of person, and it takes a special kind of impact. And creating Commander, being the level 5 judge emeritus, head judging Pro Tours, creating formats, being the paragon of virtue that he is and was, continuing to be a part of the community even after he retired from the professional judging scene, continuing with his commander help, continuing through his illness. There's no one who has a bad story about this man. You're very rare going to find someone who is as lauded and beloved as Sheldon. And the fact that Wizards, for all of their foibles and for all of their faults, could make this as a homage to a community member is beautiful.
There you go. All right. And that was our top 10 secret layers. You'll see them on screen right now for your review. Take a look at my list, Power Dragon's list, Ruben's top 10. And we want to hear from you about what card we did not talk about. And we'll select our favorite to highlight in our next top 10. But before we go, I want to thank our co-hosts. Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you. This was fun. I like doing, we should do more of these. I like doing top 10s.
Top 10s are fun. Thank you, Power Dragon.
Hey man, I'm trying to hold it. I almost started crying there for a second. Like, so if I was making the ugly face, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, man. It's tough sometimes.
It's good.
Look, man,
Hey,
Sheldon was really special.
Magic makes us feel things. Sheldon and our friends make us feel things. And the fact that this thing can bring us together and make us feel happy, sad, nostalgic, melancholy is important. And, even when you're winning or losing, it's important that that's not the point. For sure.
I think this was also just a fun thing to do because I think there's so many that people have kind of forgotten that we have 200 plus secret layers or whatever.
For sure.
Point, right. So
and I cannot wait to see what the honorable mentions are going to be.
Yeah, we have lots on screen right now that you guys can check out and figure out which you like, maybe a little bit more than we had in our top 10 and tell us all about it. We would appreciate it. And we're going to move on here to our final slide. I want to thank our sponsor, our co-sponsored Mana Traders, my co-host Power Dragon and Ruben Bressler, you guys for watching and listening, and hope you support us at patreon.com/magicmics. Follow, like, tweet, favorite, share, subscribe to everything social that tells people we exist. Catch us online at twitch.tv at Magic Mics, on Blue Sky at Magic Mics Cast, our Magic Mics subreddit, and like the Magic Mics page on Facebook. Or join us here next week, same time, same place, for another episode of Magic Mics. Good night, everybody.